This video is brought to you by Devout Decals, makers of reusable Catholic art for your home altar, your bedroom, and your home classroom.
By popular request, we now return to the subject of the Antichrist and, essentially the end of the world, as taught by Father Culleton in his writing from the late 19th and early 20th century. He put together essentially a compendium of writings of ancient Catholic thinkers, and he compiled them into one place on the subject of the Antichrist and the apocalyptic times. Here you will see documents referenced that the Church said are not inspired, meaning they're not sacred scripture, but they're still good for reading. There's a reference here to the Apocalypse of St. Thomas and to the Epistle of Bartholomew and a few other things that many of you may have never even heard of. But they are out there as writings of either church fathers or people adjacent to them as ancient writers, all generally considered edifying material. You're going to see a theme in this. It hits a little close to home, that in the times leading to the time of the Antichrist, that the clergy will have become corrupted, and that their sacrifices will be essentially meaningless, and that they will be taken by worldly pursuits. I'm not saying that's our time, but I could see why you'd think it was. Here are some of the great minds of the ancient church on what are hopefully not our times.
Warnings of the Antichrist. From the Epistle of James. There shall be wonders and strange appearances in heaven and on earth before the end of the world come. Tell us now, how shall we perceive it? And he answered us, I will teach it to you, and not that which believe, as well as them who shall hear that man and believe in me. In those years and days shall it come to pass. The sun and moon fighting one with the other, a continual rolling and noise of thunders and lightnings, thunder and earthquakes, cities falling and men perishing in their overthrow, a continual drought for lack of rain, a terrible pestilence and great mortality, mighty and untimely, so that they perish with lack of burial, and the bearing forth of brethren and sisters and kinsfolk shall be upon one bier. The kinsman shall show no favor to his kinsman, nor any man to his neighbor. And they that were overthrown shall rise up and behold them that overthrew them, that they lack burial. For the pestilence shall be full of hate and pain and envy. And the man shall take from one and give to another, and thereafter shall it wax yet worse than before. Then shall my Father be wroth at the wickedness of men. For many are their transgressions, and their abominations of their uncleanness weight heavy upon them in the corruption of their life. Lord, will not then the nations say, Where is their God? And he answered and said unto them, Thereby shall the elect be known, that they, being plagued with such afflictions, come forth. We said, Will then the departure out of the world be by a pestilence which giveth them pain? And he answered us, Nay, but if they suffer much affliction, it will be approving of them. In those years and days shall war be kindled upon war. The four ends of the earth shall be in commotion and fight against each other. Thereafter shall be quakings of clouds, darkness, drought, and persecution of them that believe in me and against the elect. Thereupon shall come doubt and strife and transgressions against one another. From the Gospel of Bartholomew. Antichrist said, I will tell thee. And a wheel came up out of the abyss, having 7 fiery knives. The first knife hath 12 pipes. Antichrist answered, The pipe of fire and the first knife in it are put the casters of lots and diviners and enchanters. And they that believe in them or have sought them, because in the iniquity of their heart they have invented false divinations. And the second pipe of fire are first the blasphemers, those who remove themselves from this mortal coil, idolaters. And the rest of the first perjurers. And Bartholomew said, Dost thou then do these things by thyself alone? And Satan said, If I were able to go forth by myself, I would have destroyed the whole world in 3 days. But neither I nor any of the 600 go forth. For we have other swift ministers whom we command, and we furnish them with a hook of many points and send them forth to hunt. And they catch for us souls of men, enticing them with sweetness of diverse baits, that is, by drunkenness and laughter, by backbiting, hypocrisy, pleasures, sins of the flesh, and the rest of the trifles that come out of their treasures. From the Apocalypse of St. Thomas. Hearing thou, Thomas, the things which must come to pass in the last times, There shall be lack of food, and war, and earthquakes in divers places. Snow and ice and great droughts shall there be. Many dissensions among the peoples, blasphemy, iniquity, envy, and villainy, indolence, pride, and intemperance, so that every man shall speak that which pleaseth him. And my priests shall not have peace among themselves, but shall sacrifice unto me with deceitful mind. Therefore I will not look upon them. Then shall the priests behold the people departing from the house of the Lord, and turning into the world, as well as transgressing in the house of God. The house of the Lord shall be desolate, and her altars abhorred. The place of holiness shall be corrupted, the priesthood polluted. Distress shall increase, virtue shall overcome, vices made to appear as virtues. Joy will perish, and gladness depart. In those days evil shall abound. There shall be respecters of persons. Hymns shall cease out of the house of the Lord. Truth shall be no more. Covetousness shall abound among the priests. An upright man shall not be found, and they shall vindicate for themselves many things. At that time shall be a very great rising of the sea, so that no man shall tell news to any man. The kings of the earth and the princes and the captains shall be troubled, and no man shall speak freely. Gray hair shall be seen upon boys, and the young shall not give place unto the aged. After that shall arise another king, a crafty man, who shall hold rule for a short space, in whose days there shall be all manner of evil, even the death of the race of men from the east even unto Babylon. And thereafter the end and famine and sword in the land of Canaan, even unto Rome. Then shall all the fountains of waters and wells boil over and be turned into blood, or into dust and blood. The heaven shall be moved, the stars shall fall upon the earth, the sun shall be cut in half like the moon, and the moon shall not give her light. There shall be great signs and wonders in those days when Antichrist draweth near. These are the signs unto them that dwell in the earth. In those days the pains of great travail shall come upon them. Woe unto them that build, for they shall not inhabit. Woe unto them that break unto the fallow, for they shall labor without cause. Woe unto them that make marriages, for unto famine and need they shall beget sons. Woe unto them that join the house or the field to field, for all things shall be consumed with fire. Woe unto them that look not unto themselves while time alloweth, for hereafter shall they be condemned forever. Woe unto them that turn away from the poor that when he asketh. And on the third day of the judgment, about the second hour, shall be a voice from the four corners of the world. The first heaven shall be rolled up like a book, and shall straightway vanish. And because of the smoke and stench of the brimstone of the abyss, the day shall be darkened unto the 10th hour. Then shall all men say, I think that the end draweth near, that we shall perish. These are the signs of the third day. And on the fourth day at the first hour, the earth of the east shall speak, the abyss shall roar. Then shall all the earth be moved from the strength of an earthquake. In that day shall all the idols of the heathen fall, and all the buildings of the earth. These are the signs of the fourth day. And on the fifth day, at the 6th hour, there shall be great thunderings, suddenly in the heavens, and the powers of light and the wheel of the sun shall be caught away. And there shall be great darkness over the whole world until evening, and the darkness shall be turned away from their ministry. In that day all nations shall hate the world, and despise the life of the world. These are the signs of the fifth day. After a little space there shall arise a king out of the east, a lover of the law, who shall cause all good things and necessary to abound in the house of the Lord. He shall show mercy unto the widows and to the needy, and command a royal gift to be given unto the priests. In his day shall be abundance of all things. From the Sibylline Oracle. In a ring around the city, the accursed king shall place each one his throne with his infidel people by him. And then with a mighty voice God shall speak unto all the undisciplined, empty-minded people, and judgment shall come upon them from the mighty God, and all shall perish at the hand of the Eternal. From heaven shall fall fiery swords down in the light. Light shall come from earth and from bright and great, flashing in the midst of men. And the earth, the universal mother, shall shake in these days at the hand of the Eternal. And the fishes in the sea, and all the beasts of the earth, and the countless tribes of flying things, and all souls of men in every sea shall shudder at the presence of the Eternal, and there shall be panic. And the towering mountain peaks and the hills of these giants he shall rend, and the murky abyss shall be visible to all. The high-hung ravines and the lofty mountains shall be full of the remains of the formerly living. The rocks shall flow with their life-blood, and each torrent shall flood the plain. The well-built walls of the disaffected men shall all fall to the ground, because they knew not the law nor the judgment of the mighty God. But with witless mind, with one united onslaught, ye cast your spears against the Holy One. God shall judge all with war and sword, and with fire and cataclysms of rain. And there shall be brimstone from heaven, yea, stones and hail incessant and grievous. And the end shall be upon the four-footed beasts. And then shall they know the immortal God, who ordains these things. Wailing and lamenting through the Length and breadth of the land shall come with the perishing of men, and all the shameless shall be washed with blood. Yea, the land itself shall drink of the blood of the perishing. The beasts shall eat their fill of flesh. From Sibilia Tubertina. A prince of iniquity shall come forth from the tribe of Dan, who will be called Antichrist. Child of perdition, full of arrogance and of an insane malice, he shall work upon earth a number of prodigies in order to support his erroneous doctrines. Through his magical arts he will surprise the good faith of many persons. At his command fire shall come from above. At that time the years shall be shortened, as well as the months, the weeks, the days, and hours. God will shorten, not the measure of duration, but the number of those terrible days. For the sake of God's elect, Antichrist shall be ended upon Mount Olivet by Michael the Archangel. Then the dead shall rise.
And that work was done by Father Colleton. I've referenced him many times before, and I will continue with the series if you so wish. This end of the world subject, I'm not saying we are there. I tend to think that there's a lot more to happen if Catholic prophecy has anything to say about it. And frankly, our Lord and the Church teach us to not speculate too much on the identity of the Antichrist or when the end will be. It's a dangerous thing to do, and that's why I get nervous when I see people starting to point to a year, 1 or 2 different years that are very close to us as being the apocalyptic times. I tend to get very nervous about that because the Church says essentially not to do that. So I am curious, though, what you think of this in the comments. Do you see parallels to our times? See the weather and other things that are happening as signs of the things you heard specifically here? Let me know what you thought of this in the comments, please. Like and subscribe if you haven't. It does help. So does sharing this on social media. That helps too. And as always, pray for the Church. I'm Anthony Stine. Ave Maria.